Hey guys, it's Kat. I'm here. This is my second vlog, and we're here to talk about things that you think that you know what to expect after bariatric surgery, and that you really just had no idea. Like, people tell you this is going to happen, and you say, okay, that's going to happen, and then you don't understand what they mean until it just smacks you in the face. And today, what I'm going to talk about is emotions. Before we do that, I'm going to do a little side story, just a little public information. Even before surgery, your dietitian is going to tell you that you need to start getting in your fluids. And after surgery, they just stress it and stress it. Fluids, hydrate, hydrate. And they mean it. In case you don't know, the way we lose weight is your body burns up that energy, that excess fat storage, and then you have waste products, and those waste products are dumped out in your urine. But if you don't have enough fluids, you can't make urine, so it just doesn't work. You don't lose weight as quickly. So, hydrate. I'm going to be drinking this as much as I can because I've only got like 8 ounces of fluid in today, and it's already the afternoon, and I got to get to it. So anyway, but what we're really going to talk about today is emotions, because they are going to smack you in the face. Your hormones are stored in fat. There are some hormones that are stored in fat, so when you rapidly lose weight, they flood your system and they make you a little bit crazy sometimes. So I just want you to be aware, because it's a good thing I was aware so that I could tell myself, okay, this isn't really real, this is just hormones in my system, I don't really feel this way. And I'll give you a couple examples. Today, I'm a month post-op. I've only lost about 20 pounds. I'm trying not to be bitter about that, because that's still 20 pounds in 30 days is probably the best I've ever done, so let's be positive. Anyway, today my mother mentioned something about, I had said something that had offended her, and it wasn't a big deal. She wasn't even that offended. It was just something that in my family, when your feelings are hurt, you air it out. Hey, you said this, it upset me. The person who said it says, oops, I didn't mean to, and then we move on. So my mother said something that brought up something I had said a while ago that had offended her, and she just meant it as conversation. It's not a big deal, and I immediately burst into tears. I mean, uncontrollably, and it wasn't a big deal. It really wasn't. She felt awful for even bringing it up, and I kept trying to explain to her through these gushing tears that has nothing to do with her. My hormones are just all over the place. So that's just one example, because that conversation lasted maybe 3 minutes. And then she was actually just dropping me off while she was running errands. And I walked in the house and still cried for another 30 minutes. I had nothing to cry about. There was no reason for me to be crying. I wasn't upset. My mom hadn't hurt my feelings. Hey, guys, those are the dogs. Not in the house. Calm down. We're at my mother's house. We're not allowed to wrestle in the house. They knock things over. My Great Dane is 110 pounds. She wrestles. Things get destroyed. Anyway. But yes, I cried for a half an hour. 30 minutes. For nothing. I had no reason to be crying. And as I'm bawling, I'm thinking, I need something to cry about to justify this crying. But I had nothing. I just had to cry because your hormones make you a little bit crazy. And another example is about 3 weeks into my surgery. 3 weeks after my surgery. So this was about 2 weeks ago, week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I've just been milling around the house. I don't have a lot of energy. It's taken me a whole month to really get my energy back up, and it's not quite what it had been. I'm still healing. But, so the few weeks had been pretty rough, and I was really proud of myself for putting on clothes and bathing, basically. That was an accomplishment for me every day. And one day I looked at myself in the mirror and I could not remember the last time I had put makeup on, which for me is pretty intense. Makeup is my life. I love it. And you can tell I've worked on it a little bit today. I will always have makeup on because it's my favorite thing. And I realized I could not remember the last time that I had put makeup on. And so I sat on the floor and cried for about 45 minutes. And I thought, why haven't I put makeup on? Because it doesn't take anything. And, it's not that it requires energy, because I can sit and do it while watching television. And there was a little voice in my head that said, I'm not pretty enough to wear makeup. Which is not my voice. That's not me. I love makeup. I love my face. It's a little too fat for me, a little too round, but it's still a nice face. I'm okay with it. My boyfriend likes it, so it's fine. But that little voice told me that I just wasn't pretty enough for makeup. And that is not a voice I have ever had in my head. And I cried about it. And I realized these are just hormones. That's not me. That is not me. It was just depression. I had a little bit of depression. And it was just hormones. It had nothing to do with me. And I got on one of my support groups and I talked it out a little bit about how I just didn't feel beautiful. I didn't feel pretty. And everybody said, that's typical, honey. You're just got some hormone issues. You need to put your makeup on anyway. So I cried about it a little more. Once I finally dried up, I put my makeup on and I was fine. And I was able to move on with my day. But had I not known ahead of time to expect that, I think it probably would have hit me a little harder. Because it kind of scared me. Who is this voice in my head? That's not me. I've never thought that about myself. I've had a lot of other things that I have issues with, but my face is not one of them. And not deserving makeup is definitely not one of them. Because, sisters, I spend a lot of money on cosmetics. Let's not talk about that. That's a conversation for another day. When we go to, someday I'm going to talk to you about addiction transference. And one of my addictions is makeup. And we'll talk about that some other time. Let's not cover that today. But I just wanted to bring up about how those emotions can really just smack you in the face and not expect it at all. And I have had issues in the past. I have a little bit of anxiety and sometimes I have a little bit of depression, but nothing major. It's just typical. We all have emotions. We all have feelings, and sometimes we get a little down, but that one was just not my voice. That it was straight up hormones in my body telling me things that were not true. So, hydrate. So that's just something you need to be prepared for, and you need to know how to manage it. You need to make a plan. I had a plan of when something hit me that I didn't like, I'm going to talk about it. And so I went to my support group and I said, hey guys, I'm feeling pretty upset about this right now. And they fixed it and I was fine. If I didn't have that plan in order, I probably would have sat on that floor bawling my eyes out until boyfriend came over and saw me, and then it would have just got uglier. He doesn't need to see that side. Trust me. Anyway, so that was just something that I want you guys to be aware of, that after your surgery, your hormone, it's like PMS to the nth degree. You just have no control. You don't. And you just need to accept that. You need to accept it, that sometimes those things are going to hit you, and then you just need to have a plan of how we're going to deal with it when it hits. So that would be my suggestion to you guys. All right, so that's all I have to talk about today. Keep it short and sweet. That's my motto. I try. If you appreciated this, or there's any other info you want to watch, I'm going to try and update as much as I can. Be sure to subscribe down out at the bottom, and we will keep you updated. Thanks. Bye.